Good afternoon, everybody. It is 4 o'clock on the dot. And let's see. I'm looking for myself on my page so I can see any comments. Let's refresh that. Let's see. There I am. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. It's the end of the week. Thank goodness it's Friday. There we go. I thought I heard myself. It was echoing. So now I've gotten rid of that. So anyway, let me see. Is that crooked? Nope, that's fine. All right. So we are doing one sheet wonders. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jennie Fetz, and I am a independent Stampin' Up demonstrator out in the East Contra Costa County area, and getting strange messages on my computer. And I am in East Contra Costa County, and I thank you for joining me. You are watching the live if you see the little red live up in the corner blinking. Otherwise, you're watching this as a replay either here on Facebook or you are catching this as a replay on my YouTube channel. And I tend to post these on Saturday, the day after I do them, and I give you all the information you need for the cards that we're creating in our Fun Friday. So today we're doing Fun Friday. We're doing a one sheet wonder. I was inspired by doing by watching Heidi Collins from On You Go, I think is how it's said. I follow her a lot. Great inspiration, great ideas. But I was watching her the other day, and she did a one sheet wonder, and I liked it, but I thought, you know what, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I created my own, or designed my own one sheet wonder. And what a one sheet wonder is, let me back up and share that with you. What a one sheet wonder is you take a sheet of either 6x6 or 12x12 or 8x8, but usually it's one sheet of paper, and you cut it up in a way that you can use all the pieces, and there's nothing, if anything, left over. There may be one small piece or something, but the idea is to use up the entire sheet on a few cards, and that way you're not wasting any, you don't have a lot of scraps or anything like that. So I saw hers, and we did a one sheet wonder. As you notice, these are ones that I did when I was designing my one sheet wonder. I wanted to use some retired papers so that I wouldn't mess up any of my new stuff. So this was an old DSP from last year, and this is last year's In Color Parakeet Party that I rediscovered when I was doing using this paper. So anyway, let me move this. I'll show you what our one sheet wonder looks like. And this is my one sheet wonder. We're doing it with a 6x6. So every side is 6 inches. And we have it divided like this. We have our A block, which is 2 inches by 2.5 inches. Our B block, which is 4 inches by 2.5 inches. Our C block, which is 3.5 by 3.5. And our D's are all 1 inch by 2.5 inch. And when I did that, it left this little sliver open, which is a 1/2 inch by 2.5 inches. And I decided, hey, Shannon, how are you? I decided to use that with one of the other ones. So I have no scraps with this one sheet wonder. So I will post this and put this out there for you guys to see and copy if you'd like to use it. And today's one sheet wonder, we're using a 6x6 of the Lavender. Let me find the name of it again. It's a carryover. It's a great one. Usually, it's Perennial Lavenders. Usually, Stampin' Up! Doesn't carry over Designer Series paper, but this year they carried over, I think, 3 different kinds. They carried over this one. They carried over the Countryside Inn, and then they also carried over one of the 6x6. Oh, the Bright and Beautiful DSP, which is a great birthday party colors, very bright colors. So anyway, we're using this from the Perennial Lavender DSP, and what I did, that comes as a 12x12, and I cut this into a 6x6, and I was able to get 4 cards out of it. So that means, theoretically, if you take a 12x12, then you're going to get 4, 8, 12. You can get 16 cards using this One Sheet Wonder. If you cut each 6 by 6 section up the way that I have it divided up, you can come out with 16 cards, 4 of each design. Had a great day, Shannon, so thank you very much. I hope you had a wonderful day too. So let's go ahead and I'm going to cut this and show you how we're going to divide this. So because we're going to do this, I'm going to cut this first, and this is our piece that's 2.5 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead and put my paper up here at 2.5, and we'll go ahead and cut that. Oops. And set that aside. That's 2.5, and then that means this one is 3.5. So let's go ahead and cut this 2.5 by 6 piece now into a, we're going to cut it here at 2 inches and 4 inches. So well, if we cut it at 2 inches, it gives us a 4-inch piece as well. So we'll cut it at 2 inches. Yes, excellent for Christmas cards, especially if you're sending out cards, or if you are like me and you're a craft fair person. You could easily get those 16 cards out and make 16 cards for your craft fair for Christmas, or even for anything actually. And you have 4 of each kind. So yes, you're right, Shannon. That would make an excellent idea for Christmas cards. So here is our 2.5 by 2 and our 4 by 2.5. I'm going to set those aside. And then we're going to cut this one. And the best thing to do is cut the 3.5 inch piece first. So I'm going to put this at 3.5. We'll do this 3.5. So there's our 3.5 by 3.5 square. And then these we're going to go ahead and cut into 1-inch sections. And with the trimmer the way it is, because they have up to, I think it's an inch, almost an 1.5 inches on this side, on the right side, it's easier for me. I just go ahead and put it 1 inch. I measure up to 1 inch on this side, cut, and then I move it over to the 1 inch, cut, and it makes it a little bit easier. And 1 inch again. And sometimes with pieces this small, if you think there's a chance it's going to move, you can always take a Post-it flag. Actually, you can't see it, but I've got one down here at the bottom of my trimmer that I use. You take your Post-it flag and you put your paper where you want it. Put the Post-it flag on there, but so it's not in the tray where it gets cut. And then you cut your paper. And so here we go. We have, I'll put my trimmer aside now. We have our 2.5 by 2, our 4 by 2.5, 3 by 3, 3.5 by 3.5, and then we have our 1 by 2.5. We have 3 of those, and these may not match up because, oh, they do, because I can remember. And then our 2.5 by 1/2 inch, and we're going to use all of those. Yeah, I always cross my fingers and hope it doesn't pray that it doesn't move. And sometimes I forget the Post-it. Sometimes I don't. I've recut many times. So anyway, let's go ahead and set these aside. And let's see. Our card goes like this. We're going to have one card that has the 2.5 by 2 with the 1/2 inch. And we'll put that aside. I can't remember if that's, I think that's card 4. And then we have our 1.5 by 2.5, not 1.5, 1 by 2.5. And that might be card 3. And then we have our 4 by 2.5, and that's card 2. And then we have our 3.5 by 3.5, and this is card 1. And I forgot I do need my trimmer because I'm going to cut this at an angle. And let's see. I'm going to cut it. Let me show you what our card number 1 is going to look like. These are using the Unbounded Beauty, Unbounded Beauty DSP, and we're going to give it this look. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it so I have this angle up here. So I'm going to want to twist my square, so it's it looks like a diamond, and put it in here. And we're going to line our two tips up with the runner, or the I guess it's the runner, or the this I'm going to call it the runner. But anyway, we're going to line it up with the tray runner. And then what we do is, the best way to cut paper like this is to actually start the cutter in the middle or already on the piece of paper, because you can see it's up here, and the other part of the paper is down here, the other corner is down here. And then you don't cause trying to figure out the words to use here. You don't cause the blade to pull and then cause a crease in your paper. Let me give you an example. Let me find a piece of scrap paper. Matter of fact, here, I'll use this Post-it note. If I didn't start on my corner in the middle, and I started up here, when you pull it down, you can see where it's actually bent the corner. And so now your paper is not a perfect edge, which you want for your card. So you always start, when you're cutting in a diagonal like that, you start it in the middle of the DSP, or the paper. So card number 1 is going to be used, we're using Highland Heather and as our DSP, our main DSP. And trying to figure out why I've got some, oh, I know what those colors are for. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this over and burnish it. Yes, I've toured so many papers until I learned that, and I can't remember who I learned it from. It's probably Tammy. I believe many years ago, or not many years ago, like a year or so ago, I learned it from Tammy. So we're gonna do this, and because it's going to be a vertical card, we're gonna go ahead and do that. And we have, and let me go back. This is our standard card stock size when you cut it for a standard card. I tell you, it's Friday, I'm tripping over my words, and I'm not as clear as I like to be. So let me roll that back just a little bit and start over again. Here's our cardstock. It's cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and it makes our standard size card when you score it at 4.5 down the middle, and we're going to make it vertical. And now we're going to take the exact same color, Highland Heather, and we're going to cut, and this is a 4 by 5.25, so it gives us a little bit of extra trim or edging around it, and we're going to glue that on there. So let me go ahead and get my glue. Actually, I'm not going to glue it on yet. Stop that one, Jenny. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, and I need my trimmer again. The eyelet, yes, it's a beautiful, I love it. But I also like the cute crochet one as well. So here we're going to cut another piece of paper. This is our pretty peacock, and we're going to cut it in that measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 square. And so that means it's just 1/4 of an inch over the 3.5 by 3.5 square that we did in our DSP, because we're going to use this as a mat for those things, for the DSP. So we're going to cut it, and I think that's it for my cutting. I do believe it looks like I'm going to have to go back and do some, I'm going to have to step away at a moment to do some die cutting, but let's go ahead and get started with this. So we're going to go ahead and mat this on here and put that on there. And I like the back side of this DSP too, because I love the leaves and the colors, the green colors on it. So let's go ahead and mat that here. All right. And we'll set that aside, and we'll mat this one on this piece of DSP, or this cardstock, pretty peacock. I'm tripping over words, and looks like this might be one of my longer ones if we keep going at this pace. So one of my longer videos. All right, so there's our mat. And what we're going to do before, the reason I didn't want to glue this on yet, the card base, is I want to be able to line up these corners perfectly with the edge of the DSP, or with the embossed layer. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll put a little glue. And I like using Tombow glue or Tom glue because it allows for wiggle room to make sure I get these lined up. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on there. But if you want to use your Stampin' seal, you can. Matter of fact, I'll show you how that works with one of them. Stampin' seal. All right, Stampin' seal there, a little bit on each edge, and then we line it up. And there we go. So now that's lined up. And now what we can do is we can put this on here. You know, I love Tom, but I'll tell you something, it's funny. It depends on my mood for the day and what I grab first. And sometimes I grab my Stampin' seal without thinking about it. And I use that the entire time I'm crafting. And then there's other times I don't even want to touch it and I just want to use my Tom. So let's go ahead. And now we're going to glue this on here. So we're going to use our Tom on the back side. And the fun thing is if you want, the debossed side of this eyelet is really pretty too. I've never thought to use that, but that looks like it would work really well too. And we'll go ahead and line that up. There we go. I'm all crooked. And perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I decided to go with Fresh Freesia because that's another color that coordinates with this DSP. And, oh, I forgot my stamps. Hold on a moment. We're going to be using mostly So Sincere stamp set. This is the stamp set we're going to be using. This is my go-to sentiment stuff. It's got everything, stamp set in it. It's got everything. I love it. And I love the font. So we're going to go with the So Thankful. No, you know what? We're going to go with Your Kindness is Appreciated. And that is right here. Your Kindness is Appreciated. And I'm going to do, I think we're going to do Highland Heather because that's the color of the cardstock we're using. That way we can coordinate it. We could even easily go with Gorgeous Grape because of the very dark purples in here. We even could go pretty peacocked so that it coordinates with that. This is one of those stamp sets or DSPs that has so many beautiful coordinating colors that you could use whatever you want. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get a little, I think I'm going to need to re-ink my ink pads. They're getting, so, and see, I'm going to just put this up in the corner, still in the corner. Oh. All right, do I still have you guys? Thumbs up or, oh. It looks like we just kept getting, let's see. All right, am I still there now, guys? Because it looks like my internet is down, so I'm not on my, I can't get onto my, waiting for a signal. Ugh. You know, it's funny. The last 2 days have been 100 degrees and more and no power issues whatsoever. Today, it's finally had a cool down and we're, yep. I'm back. Okay. Finally have, it finally starts cooling down and we have some brownouts or whatever. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to have to wing this because my computer is gone. It's not that it's gone, but it's, not connected to the internet, which tells me right now my phone is working off of my data. So that would be working. That's good. But I can't see you guys on my computer, so I'm not going to be able to respond to any comments. I apologize. So let's just go ahead and get these done. I'm going to leave this here real quick. I'm going to turn my chair and do a quick die cutting, and so I can cut this out, and then I'll be right back with you. So, all right. We're going to use Nested Essentials. That's too big. That's the one I want. All right. All right, so I'll be right there with you, cutting it up. Hoping you guys are having a better day than I'm having right now. All right, I'm back. Okay, Nested Essentials is what I used for here, and I'm going to get some, I thought it was all prepped here. I had all the big stuff prepped, but it looks like the little things I didn't have ready. So yeah, at least my phone picks up. You should see me. I'm looking up over my stand a little bit, peeking up over my stand to see. So occasionally I might see a comment. Oh, no. Oh, can you see me? All right. Let me know if you can see me. It looks like I'm waiting for a signal. All right. Oh, I'm back. I've got my laptop wrecking. Oh. Let's go. All right. Is it the thing on Dad's dresser? Yeah. Nothing's blinking. Okay, well, I've got my internet's back, so thank you. Let's see. Oh, wow, this has been fun. I tell you. If it's anything, maybe this day is sort of like my day was yesterday. I don't know. I didn't post it on here. I posted it on my personal page. I took my car to get washed yesterday. And I got stuck in the car wash. It was one of those things. All right, am I frozen still, Shannon and Patricia? Hi, Patricia. Am I frozen still, or is it better? Oh, it looks like a delayed, but it looks like I might be better. I don't know. Let's see. Well, I'm going to continue on, and hopefully you guys will see it. It will come up and start working again. All right, so I'm going to use my purple fine shimmers for this. Actually, these are the embellishments and the gems that came with the painted lavender, the Perennial Lavender DSP in the suite that it was a part of. In the last mini catalog, and now they're sold separately. They're not sold as a suite anymore. Let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to continue on. We had a little technical difficulty, but it looks like we're doing better. So now I'm going to add some little gems to this right here. And when I have like this on that, I like to have both sides, sort of, instead of doing 3, I do 2, 1 on each side of the sentiment. So, all right. So this is card number 1 with our One Sheet Wonder. We have our 3.5 by 3.5 that we cut in half, and we have created our first card. And let's go ahead and move on to card 2 and see if we can make up a little bit of time. I'll take these and put these off to the side. Card number 2 is right here. Well, this is a sample of card number 2, and this uses our 4 by 2.5 piece of DSP. So we're going to go ahead, and this one we're going to use our Gorgeous Grape, and we're cutting it 4 1/4 by 11, and then scoring at 5.5 to create a vertical card. And let me go ahead and burnish this. All right. And we're going to go ahead and do that. And then this is a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Gorgeous Grape that I've embossed with the cute, let's see, can you see the embossment, the embossing? The cute crochet 3D embossing. And we're going to put that on there. But before we do that, we're going to do this. We're gonna take our 4 inch by 2.5 inch, and we're going to put it on a piece of cardstock. This is Lost Lagoon, and Lost Lagoon is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. And we're going to just glue that on there. All right, glue this on here. Use our Tombow. All right. And we'll glue that on and center it. All right, there we go. And what is the 1/4 inch diagonal, 1/4 inch diagonal white that is from a part of the Country Woods suite. So we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to wrap it around like this. I'm going to put a glue dot on the bottom. So I'm going to get my glue dots out. Here's my glue dots. I'm going to I need 2 glue dots, so let's go ahead and rip off 2. We're going to put 1 glue dot right here. Oop, that didn't come off. 1 glue dot right here. And we're going to put that right about 1/4 of the way around, down. And then we're going to wrap it around. And I'm going to take my ribbon scissors and cut a small piece. I'm going to put a glue dot on this piece. Oh, that didn't come off either. These glue dots are stubborn. All right. Oh, there we go. And then we're gonna make sure it's straight and wrap this around and attach it to the back. So now we've got our ribbon there, and there is that. And we're going to go ahead and put I don't want to put the ribbons away yet. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to tie a little bow. And let's see, turn this upside down and tie it like that. But we're going to tie it and then bring the tails down so that they sort of hang low. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my ribbon like that. I'm going to put those aside because they're going to go in the trash, not enough to save. And then I need, do I have my white cardstock? I do. I have a little white cardstock here, and we're going to use the Just For You stamp out of our So Sincere. And we're going to use this block here, and we're going to use, you know what I think we're going to do? I think we're going to go Pretty Peacock. I think Pretty Peacock, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do 1 in Pretty Peacock. And then I'm going to clean that off, and we're going to do 1 in Gorgeous Grape. And you guys can tell me, where's my, oh, there's my stamp cleaner. You guys let me know which one you think we should use. All right. Clean that off. Oh, not totally. Oh, there it is. All right, let's do our Gorgeous Grape, and then we'll decide from here which one we want to use. All right. There's Just For You. So, Gorgeous Grape. We'll clean that stamp off. Set it aside. So let me go ahead and die cut these 2 circles out, and hopefully I'll be back in just a second. I'm using Deco circles. All right. So there's one. Let me cut the other one out. we can decide from there. Can't wait to get my mini blue, boho blue cut and emboss machine, because if I get that next week, I'll be able to do the die cutting right here on the my workbench or work table, because it's small enough that I can fit it up here. So do we want to use the Pretty Peacock, or do we want to use the Gorgeous Grape? Let's see. I think, to be perfectly honest, I like the idea of the Pretty Peacock, because I also have these glossy dots in the Gorgeous Grape that we're going to use to embellish this. So let's go ahead and go with the Just For You and Pretty Peacock. And we're going to tuck this in right up here, so it looks like it's tied and attached. And let's go ahead and put our two glossy dots on there in Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to do the small dots. Now the glossy dots, they like to stick real well to their thing. So we're going to just go ahead and there we go. So there's our glossy dots. And sorry, I'm just having a hard time talking today. All right, we're gonna attach this to, we're gonna glue this to our embossed form or panel, which is, like I said, it is 5 1/4 by 4. We're gonna center it on there. And then we're going to glue this to the card base. All right, and we'll center that and the card base. All right, there is card number 2 using one panel of our 6x6 one sheet wonder. So we'll go ahead and set that off to the side. And then card number 3, it looks like this. It uses our 3 rectangles that are 1 inch by 2 2.5, and which are these 3 pieces here. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to actually turn them over to use the back side of the DSP. And I've got 3 small rectangles here that are 1 1/4 inch, I think it is. Nope, 1 inch and 1/8. 1 1/8 inch by 2 5/8. 1 1/8 by 2 5/8. And these will flip over, and we'll put in here, we'll put the one that has the colors, the purples and stuff in it, on the Pretty Peacock. And then the other 2, which are just the leaves, so they're all green, we're going to put on the Gorgeous Grape background. So let's go ahead and do that first. We'll attach these, and then I'll show you our card base and what we're doing with that. So we'll attach this, center it. Oops, there we go. So not sure if any of you guys have heard, but right now, this month, June 5th through June 30th, we are having, meaning Stampin' Up, is having a bundle sale. You can purchase your favorite bundle from the catalog or any of the online exclusive bundles for 10% off. So you already saved 10% when you bundle your stamp set and die or stamp set. Oh, let me take that back. It's not all bundles. Forgive me. This again, it's a Friday afternoon. It's not all bundles, but most bundles are stamp and die. So it's all the stamp and dies. No punches, just stamp and dies that are on sale. Those bundles that are on sale. Anyway, If you're curious what those are and you want a catalog and you don't have a demonstrator that you're working with right now, please reach out to me. Leave me a message here or send me a message on YouTube and let me know if you need a catalog, and I will get one to you as soon as possible. And then you can check those out. Or I can send you the link to my online store, and you can look at the bundles that way. So here is our card base, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to fold it over and burnish it with our bone folder. All right. And then this is, I believe this is all fresh freesia. And then this is another panel of the same color, fresh freesia, that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I've embossed it with the brick, what's the name of it again? It is the exposed brick embossing folder. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this down now. Usually I wait, but I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down now because I don't have to line anything up with it. So we're just going to put some Tom on there and center it on the card front. Again, another horizontal card. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to attach these here. And we're going to do is, so in order to make sure we can get the center one lined up properly, we're going to go ahead and attach the two outer ones. And I'm going to attach them at a stagger, at an angle. So let's go ahead and, you know what? I'm feeling the whole Stampin' seal thing. So let's go ahead and put Stampin' seal on this. And we'll attach this up here. I'm going to center it, or not center it, but I'm going to use the edge of the embossed piece as a guide. There we go. Attach this. Oop. And I'm going to use the same distance. It's about an 1/8 to an 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch from the side and from the bottom. And then this one's about 1/4 to an 1/8 of an inch between the top and the panel and the side and the panel. And now we'll go ahead and put this in here so it looks somewhat centered between the top and the bottom. We have it centered, so we're going to go ahead and put this on. All right, right about there. So, and then the simple, we have our saying, our sentiment, we're going to put right down here. You can do two things. You can stamp it on your panel before you emboss it, or you can stamp it after it's embossed. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We're going to go ahead and do the So Thankful because I'm working with just this one particular stamp set right now. We're going to do So Thankful for you, and I'm going to stamp it right down here in the corner in Pretty Peacock. All right. I'm hoping that there's no issues with this. I'll have to go back and look at it and check it out before I put it on YouTube, since it looks like some of you guys weren't able to come back after you were watching. So we're going to just stamp right here. And see, this one's one of those ones that might be better to stamp than emboss because the R and the 4U is a little off. But anyway, this is card number 3 using our pieces from our One Sheet Wonder. And then we have our last one, card number 4. And let me put these to the side. Card number 4 is a fun one. It is another vertical open card like this. And we use the remaining two, the 2.5 by 2, and the 1/2 inch one that was next to the 1 inch by 2.5 inch. And we're going to flip it over and use the other side. So we're going to actually do this. The leaves are going a little crooked, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and put those on our thing. I'm going to give you guys an idea of something to do for this white bow. We're not going to use white. We're going to color it so that it matches and coordinates with everything else. So what I've decided to use is crumb cake. It is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, folded over and embellished, not embellished, burnished. And then this one is our base and the layer, and it's again 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to set that right there. And you know what, we can glue that one on first. So let's go ahead and glue that one on first. Again, I don't know why, but I'm in a Stampin', all of a sudden, Stampin' seal. Sometimes it's on a whim. And we're going to center this. This shows you, actually, the way I'm changing my mind on my adhesives, it shows you that every adhesive that we have works very well with all of your cards, no matter what you're doing, all your projects. Some are better than others for those, but in the catalog, it actually has on the adhesive page, it shows you with let me show you. I tell you, today is one of those squirrel days, if you guys know up. But here's our pages 116 and 117 on the catalog. It shows you each of our adhesives, and it actually has a legend here that shows you what that adhesive is good for. And so some of our adhesives are good for everything. Some of them are better for paper and ribbon. Some of them are better for 3-dimensional products. Embellishments, like this one is our fine tip glue pen. That's perfect for embellishments. The Tombow is good for embellishments, things like that. So you can use your glue or your adhesives on just about anything, but there are some that work better than others. All right, this square is, I'm trying to remember, it is 2 7/8 by 2 5/8. So let's see, we're going to put the 2.5 by 2 at the bottom. And then we're going to flip the 2.5 by 1/2 inch, and we're going to put it at the top. So let's go ahead and, let's see. Let's go ahead and put those on. So, well, it looks like nobody was able to join me back. So there was something going on. I tell you, the technical difficulties really stink. And let's go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive on this. Excuse my arm. My silicone map was over there. And we're going to line these up so that the top and the sides have the same amount of edging as they do down here. It leaves a little bit of edging here as well. And what we're going to do is this is going to be attached here. And we're going to take our ribbon, but here's what I'm going to show you about our ribbon. I don't have Gorgeous Grape, but I do have Highland Heather Stampin' Blend. And these are alcohol-based pens, and these are great. You can color your white ribbon with it, or even your lighter color ribbon. So let me do this. I'm going to make my ribbon or my bow, and then I'll untie it after I make it. Just so I can get enough. Oop, didn't want to pull it that way. I'm not a pro at bows, I can tell you that, but I'm learning. So we got our bows here, and that looks like a pretty good bow to go up in the corner there. So I'm going to cut this here with my ribbon scissors. Now I'm going to untie it, because what we're going to do is we're going to take the wide end, the paintbrush end of our Highland Heather, and we're going to color over it as such, and see how it's coloring it's going to give us a piece of ribbon that coordinates with our paper. They don't have any Highland Heather ribbon at this point, but we do now because we were able to create it with that. So we're going to let that dry, and in the meantime, we're going to figure out what our sentiment is going to be. You know what? I think I'm going to go with this. And we're going to just go ahead and use that gorgeous grape that we did earlier. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to find, let's see, I know I've got some, let's see, what kind of gems or adhesives do we want to use? Not adhesive, embellishments do we want to use? Let's see. Looking through just to see what I've got. See what would work. And you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and go with our purple fine gems. No, you know what? I've got two, and these are, nope, that's not going to work either. I'm going to go with our purple fine gems. I tell you, indecisive. All right, here we are coming up on 48 minutes, thanks to our technical difficulties and small power outage that I had during the live, when I think I may have lost you guys for a little bit. But we're going to go ahead and put a couple of these sparkly eyes on here. And let's see, one more. Right there. You know what? I think I'm going to move this one in. There we go. That will sort of cradle it right there. And our ribbon should be dry because it dries rather quickly. And check this out. We've got ribbon. So we're going to make our bow. There we go. There's our bow. I say that and I think of our dog because our dog's name is Bo. But anyway, it looks like that could use a little. I'm going to color that one a little bit more. Let's get this open. Oops, sorry. Technical difficulties. There it is. I'm going to color that a little bit more. Color these edges a little bit more. And it will dry lighter. All right, and then we're going to cut these at an angle. There we go. And I'm going to pull down so I have a smaller bow. And where's my glue dots? There's my glue dots. I'll get a glue dot. I'm exhausted. But anyway, it's been a busy day. And I've got a busy weekend because this weekend I'm attending a summer Stampin' soiree hosted by two of the gals. One of them is my mentor, Patty Bennett, and another gal in our group, Kirsten Del Rosario. I'm hoping I'm saying her name right. And they're hosting a 2-day or a day and a half stamping event about 45 minutes from here. So I've got to be up early tomorrow morning for our event, and we go from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's almost 12 hours of stamping and having fun and visiting. And then the next morning goes from 9 a.m. till about 1 o'clock. So another 4 hours of stamping. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, here's my last card. And let me go ahead and move this. I'll bring out all of our cards. And you can tell me which one's your favorite. But this is 4 cards. There's our first one. It uses the 3.5 by 3.5 square piece of DSP. Here's our second card that used our 4 by 2.5 inch piece of DSP. Here is, I forgot. No, I tell you guys, this is what my day's been like. I set them up there so you can see it, but I forgot to attach them. So let's go ahead and attach them now. And you know what? Yep, I think what we're going to do is we're going to move it. I'm going to put this right here. Yep, we're going to do that. So let's put a little, and we're going to use our glue. Oh my word. Folks who are watching this on replay, I apologize. I don't know why. I think, you know what? I think the whole power outing that happened, the brownouts, threw me. They just threw me for a loop. So I apologize for the scatterbrain that I've been. So let's go over this again. Card 1 uses our 3.5 by 3.5 square cut in diagonal from our One Sheet Wonder. Card 2 used our 4 by 2.5, 4-inch by 2.5 piece from our DSP. Card 3 used our 3 pieces that are 1-inch by 2.5 inch. And then card 4 used our 2 by 2.5 inch with our 1/2 inch by 2.5 inch piece of DSP. So there's our 4 cards. You let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. Is it card 1, card 2, card 3, or card 4? So I look forward to hearing from you. I just want to say thank you for joining me. And if you haven't already liked my business page here on Facebook, please do. If you want to share it with others, please do. Last I looked, at 89 followers. I need 100 or 101 to be able to continue on with my Facebook Lives, which means that if I don't have 101 by next week, I'll post a video on Facebook, but I won't be live, which actually might be a benefit because then I won't have to deal with the power outage or power surges that we just had that sort of interrupted our my live here. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Sorry I rambled. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your Friday evening. Take care. Bye-bye.